Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to do a list video. These are my top 20 favorite vocalists or singers of all time. I decided to go ahead and do it. I was thinking about doing this later down the road, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it. These are in no particular order. Now, of course, you're going to have the top 5 or 6 at the end, or top 5 at the end, but these are in no particular order. So without further ado, let's get started. I think the first one I'm going to talk about is, think here, Trevor McNevin from 1,000 Foot Crutch. He delivers really good vocals, and I thought he deserved a spot on the list. He's got this rough voice or something, but not too rough. So yeah, Trevor McNevin was the lead singer from 1,000 Foot Crutch, and he has other projects like FM Static, which isn't as good as TFK, but still. Trevor deserved a spot on the list, I thought. Next one is a female vocalist, Lacey Sturm, formerly of Flyleaf. Her voice has changed over the years, you know. The debut was pretty sounding. Memento Mori, a little bit different. It got rougher by the New Horizons album, and then that was when she stepped down from Flyleaf, and then had some vocal work, and now she's back to pretty sounding, I thought. From the surgery she had, she's back to doing singing and all that good stuff, and she has her own solo album now and some other songs. So I thought Lacey deserved a spot on the list. Next one up is a no-brainer, Ryan Clark from Demon Hunter. He is one of the most unique, if not the most unique vocalists that I know of in rock, metal, any genre. He can sound really pretty sounding, or he can sound really rough, tough, all of that. When he's screaming, I really like it. They're my favorite metal band, I have to say, because of that. You know, they have good music, don't get me wrong. The band is really good, but Ryan's vocals also really play a big part of me getting into Demon Hunter. So yeah, Ryan Clark also was in other bands. I think it was in Training for Utopia. He has this other project called Knives, which isn't as good as Demon Hunter, but still it's okay. So yeah, that's Ryan Clark at Demon Hunter for number 3. Number 4 is another female vocalist, Dawn Michelle, the lead singer from Fireflight. She has a really pretty voice, and man, she's one of my favorite female vocalists. And during that early days of Fireflight, I really like listening to the 3 best albums from her are from the Unbreakable, For Those Who Wait, and Now era. Her voice just never gives up. Just sounds good. So yeah, Dawn Michelle, I don't know what else to say. Fireflight. Next up, we got Sonny Sandoval from POD. Man, he can rap and sing at the same time, even have a little screaming every here and there. But their music sounds really good. I thought POD deserved a spot on here. Now, their music hasn't really been the best since, I would say, in a while, but past couple albums, but I still like his vocals, you know. I think on the Circles album, there's a song on there called Home, where he's giving it his all. So yeah, POD's whatchamacallit, Sonny Sandoval deserved a spot at number 5. Number 6 may be a controversial one. We're moving into country music, and that is Luke Bryan. I don't know. I know like country fans, they think he's too pop for country or whatever, probably because of his voice, but I love his voice, and it's smooth. It's different from other country under other country singers. It's just smooth sounding. I don't know, just something about that's probably what brings me along. You can tell the emotion through his singing. I think he's got a lot of emotion to it, and I like the fun stories he tells. But yeah, that's really what brings me to Luke Bryan's music. Of course, yeah, I know that Crash My Party album is probably my favorite country album of all time, but yeah, I'm not sure though. It's either that or the next artist. Who is the next artist that's in the vocalist in the category? That is, of course, Zac Brown. The Zac Brown band is still either that or is what brings me brings me to country music the most. They are really one of the only country bands I really like that I have all CDs from. He used to sound, the music was different, but his voice, I think, has only changed a little bit. It just sounds homegrown and all that good stuff, through the foundation and you get what you give it. He's given it his all. Plus, the band is really talented. I've seen them live. They put on a good kick-butt show. So yeah, Zac Brown, I thought deserved a spot at number 7. Okay, number 8, we're moving to more country. We got Morgan Wallen. This is a controversial one. Due to what he's done, I don't know why he's apologized, but we're not going to talk about that. I love his voice, though. He delivers a good voice. With the only 2 albums he has, he's got a good voice. He's giving it his all. Now, it's not as good on the standalone EP as it is on If I Know Me or Dangerous, but still, I love his voice. He's got a rough voice, all that good stuff. I wish people would give him another chance as far as country fans go. Number 9, I'm going to go with, trying to think what I didn't do yet. We'll probably go with one of the voices of my childhood, Bart Millard from Mercyme. When I hear his voice on the radio, I know it's a Mercyme song, and it brings me back to when I was little. Those CDs I have, a lot of them were from my childhood that my parents would play me when I was young. Of course, the big hit I Can Only Imagine, but there's more to them than just that song, but they have other good songs, I think, that he gives it his all. God With Us, Here With Me, which was on mainstream radio for a while in the early 2000s. Even some fun songs like This Life and Shake. He can have fun, And when he's having a time of worship or being serious, more accurately, he still delivers, in my opinion. True, it's different from what it was in the early days, but still, it's still good. Okay, I think we're at number 10. So we're at the halfway point. Who am I going to bring up? Michael Barnes from Red. Red, he delivers a whole lot. They're a good Christian rock band. I wish more people would know about them. True, in the Christian scene, they are pretty popular, but in all kinds of genres, they're not popular compared to others. But yeah, I think he's one of the best vocalists in Christian hard rock or hard rock in general. If I'm being honest. But yeah, when it comes to screaming, he can scream a lot, and on that song, All For You, he's giving it his all. He's like shredding his vocal cords, probably. But in the early days, the Into Silence, Innocence, and Instinct, you could tell the emotion is being shown through their songs. And of course, their cover of Ordinary World is a really good one, too. He's almost like a rock version of Ryan Clark. But, yeah. So, what am I doing at number 11? Is a controversial one, but I like her. It has Jen Ledger from Skillet. She's the backup vocalist from Skillet. She joined during the Awake era when she was only 18. I know not a lot of people like her only because she's hot looking, but true, she's pretty, but her voice is what brings her to this list. I don't know. Her Ledger EP without John, well, mostly without John, it's a really good album, I thought, with her voice. Let's say, for example, Iconic. It's where she's yelling the words, "You're so iconic," whatever. I just think she's giving it her all. I know that word's been used a whole lot, but yeah. She, shows it, the emotion. Here. Okay, another one I'm going to talk about is John Micah Sumrall from Cutlass. His voice has changed. If I don't want to talk about change, he's changed a whole lot. When they started Cutlass in the early 2000s, their best two albums are the first two, the debut and Sea of Faces. He was giving it his all with the screaming and singing, with the hard rock stuff he does. And then when they got to the more worship stuff, the contemporary Christian music stuff, he was still giving the emotion. True, not as good as, say, the first two, but I thought he deserved a spot on this list, in my personal opinion. And for those who don't know, they have a new song out today called Words of Fire, and it sounds really good. I'm probably going to do a thoughts on video, but anyhow, getting off topic. So what am I doing for number 13? We're talking about Jason Wade for Life from Lifehouse. And man, he once again shows emotion. He's more softer than some of the other bands I've mentioned. But he has a good voice, at least in the old ones. Like Hanging by a Moment, Everything. Oh my gosh. He is showing his emotion. That is a pretty song from Lifehouse, in my opinion. And you can tell he is showing his emotions. But yeah. So that's number 13 with Jason Wade from Lifehouse. I don't know what else to say other than his voice has changed, but it's probably not as good as the early few albums but it's still a good voice. So next one I want to talk about with number 14 is trying to think, what were the other ones? Oh, Jason Dunn, from the old original singer from Hawk Nelson. If you didn't know, they were originally a punk rock group, but they went to more contemporary Christian music when Jason Dunn left. But I prefer his era, even though he could be a little whiny sounding. But it's still good, you know? So, yeah. So, yeah. Jason Dunn is number 14. So he deserved a spot on the list, I thought. Sorry about that awkward pause. Just trying to think. Okay, where are we at for number 15? I think we're going to talk about... Well, let me think here. That I haven't brought up yet. I would say... Oh, Britt Nicole. How about that one? I like her voice. So probably the last female vocalist on this list. I'm going to bring up Britt Nicole because I kind of met her. That's kind of gives me a soft spot, but still. I always liked her vocals as far as pop music goes, but still. I like when she's singing that high-pitched voice, but that loud sounding voice, or whatever I mean. See, like her best songs would be Lost Get Found and Gold. And a few others, you know, All This Time. And of course, Through Your Eyes. I can relate with that one. So yeah, that's a good one. Britt Nicole, as far as pop music goes. Christian pop, it's still good music, I would say. Okay, here we are. Last 5. We're in the top 5. For my list, number 5, we're going to be counting them down the rest of the way. Well, I don't know if they'll be counting down, but either way. These are my top 5, in my opinion. Number 5, I'm going to go with Michael Tate. Originally from DC Talk, later for Newsboys. You know, I'm a big Newsboys fan, but not just them. And I also forgot to mention he was in a band called Tate originally, or before Newsboys, but after DC Talk. Michael Tate, I actually met him at a Newsboys concert, but yeah. In my CD of Love Riot, I got it signed from him in the band, personally, but enough talk on that. But he does a good vocalist. You know, his days from DC Talk, you know, the Jesus Freak and In the Light, to like say The Worship Will Lose This Life, the heavy rock with Numb. Then when he joined Newsboys with Born Again, the whole Born Again album, that's my one of my favorite albums of all time. I was 13 when that came out, so I have so much nostalgia for that album. His vocals on that album, it shows. And he got more contemporary with the band when, you know, Restart, Love Riot, and even the newest album, Stand, when that came out. I would say his vocals are still good, I'd say, even though they changed over time. So yeah, I'm going to say Michael Tate. And speaking of DC Talk, the next artist, Toby Mccann, also known as Toby Mac. His voice has changed over time. I like his vocals. Some people don't, but I do. I was 11 when I discovered his music officially of his solo career. I know he was also from DC Talk. The only time that his voices I don't like are from the early days of DC Talk when he's like, "It's time to jam." I don't know why that. It kind of just sounds. I'm not trying to pick on him, but you know, it's just silly sounding. I don't know why. Just as my impression of it. But Toby's voice, you know, when he got to his solo career, the last few DC Talk albums, his voice has got really good. And then when the momentum Diverse City, Portable Sounds Tonight era was coming out. He was really good. That was around the time I got into him. Ion and After, they're not as good as the Tonight before, but I don't know. I still like them, but they're, I don't know, just something about, he went from rock to pop, even having from the Diverse Momentum album to Diverse City a little bit, having a little bit of elements of new metal to it, I would say, with Yours mainly and The Slam having a little bit of elements of new metal to it. But then he just went straight to pop music after that, but which he does make good pop music. He's a good pop singer, but man, do I miss the rock. That's just my opinion, though. Toby Mac, good vocalist. So we are at the top 3. We already mentioned Newsboys earlier, so next artist is the second vocalist, Peter Furler, who was the original drummer and founder of the band when the band was formed in Australia years ago in the mid-80s. He was originally the drummer, and then when John James, the original singer, left, he he became singer for a couple of years, about a decade or so. Then he decided to leave the band, and Michael Tate picked up right where they left off from DC Talk, but combined Newsboys DC Talk. When Peter left, Michael Tate became the lead singer. But yeah, Peter he also has good vocals. Then he had to go 2 solo albums, plus his drumming on Steve Taylor and the Perfect Foil. Steve Taylor and the Perfect Foil is not really my favorite, but it's still good. Has some good drumming if I remember correctly. And then my favorite part, he got back with Newsboys as forming Newsboys United, which went on for a few years and then just ended last year. Sad to see them go again, but it's still okay. I heard he was doing some drumming for Kevin Max's new band, Sad Astronauts, but being honest, I'm not real crazy about that. I've heard a few songs, that's not my thing, I guess. But, whatchamacallit? But Peter's voice, I like his voice a lot. He's got this cool, smooth / a little rough voice in the early days. You can arrange it different ways. But yeah. Okay, last 2. This one may be controversial. Number 2 is John Cooper from Skillet, the only remaining original member from Skillet. I know not many people like Skillet, but I do. I was probably due to my biased opinion about them because of the nostalgia, but still, if I wasn't a Skillet fan, I probably would have never gotten into Red or Demon Hunter or anything like that. I probably would have been, I don't know, more only into the Christian stuff or the contemporary stuff. So thanks to seeing Toby Mac and Skillet live, I got into Skillet, and now I'm a big rock fan as well. So I have them to thank. But yeah, I like John's rough vocals, and yeah, I don't really like on the first album how he can sound high pitched, but it's still good. When he got to the Collide album and onward, I think from Collide to Awake was when he was in his best, in his prime. When Rise came out and all the way to now Dominion, I think his vocals got a little bit more rough, but yeah, we're good. But yeah, Skillet, John Cooper. I can't help it. I gotta put him on the list. Now, the last artist I'm gonna talk about is kind of personal to me. And that's Joseph Rojas, the original member, last original member, and still current lead singer of Seventh Day Slumber. The reason I'm keeping him last is because I have actually on YouTube talked with him on YouTube. He's read a few of my comments and noticed I was in the chat in a few of their videos, and I don't know why, I hold that dearly. But as I was saying, now his voice has changed over the years. It went from in the 90s when they first started. He's started sounding like a little bit like Three Doors Down, but still good. Then he's just got his own sound now. It's got a little bit more rough over the years, but that new album, Death by Admiration, man, does he give it his all. And that album's a banger anyway, but yeah. So anyways, that was my top 20 vocalists of all time. Now, I don't know if they'll be completely of all time, but there's some other honorable mentions, you know. Some guilty pleasures, but I hope this was a fun video anyway. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go. So until then, next time.